A very good morning to all the participants who have joined today for today's webinar organized by Integrated Training and Placement Cell of GTU on theme of post-COVID-19 era and employability. Today we'll be having discussion on Let's Discover Domain, and this session will be delivered by our expert V. Nankumar sir. Sir is IRS, Additional Commissioner of Income Tax, Department of Revenue, who has vivacious personality and many qualities Sir possess. He has been UPSC ranked All India topper in the year 2005. He has served as youngest private. He has been appointed as election expenditure observer for 5 times. He is having 2 honorary doctorate for his individual social responsibilities and many more achievements Sir possess. I would request now, Sir, to start the session. Over to you, sir.
So good morning, everyone, and I really thank the GTU for providing me this opportunity. And it's great that meeting through webinar, because the technology provides a greater facilitation to reach so many across the globe. So we may not know, even people from abroad also may join us. So in that way, let's see. Especially most of them, I saw the profile of the GTU that near about 75% of the students are from the engineering background. And let's discuss more about engineering and the employability, because the post-COVID situation made us to confine in our domain, especially the domain here. I said the home domain, so we are not able to go out and explore ourselves physically and also mentally. So in that way, to explore ourselves and to take an opportunity in the post-COVID situation, because India is going to have a greater advantage. In this greater advantage situation, we need to take advantage of the human resource hunt, actually, because I'm telling you, many multinationals will enter India, because the China and the many Western countries, the developed countries, especially the Western developed countries, are in the crisis, the human resource crisis, or because of the loss of human resource during this post-COVID situation on the higher side, like US and also the German, UK, France, and many countries, especially all the developed countries on the Western side. And even on the Eastern side, so when we see in terms of human resource, that only two global nations are very vital. One is China, the other is India. And India has greater advantage when compared to China, because China, as such, they are more skilled laborers and also the skilled population. But the problem with them is actually they're not the English speaking population, or rather they know the mannerism, that how to conduct themselves to the multinationals. In that way, we have the advantage how to govern and conduct ourselves to the multinationals. And even the English language, the India has, because we are ruled by the British colonial rule, right? So we have a basic advantage of speaking basic English. So that makes us to connect the global nations, also the global multinationals. So that is the advantage, where all the multinationals will now search for Indian human resources, because I said, next to China, India stands number 2 in terms of human resource. That too, the intellectual human resource. That's very important. It's not only the trained or technical skilled resources. That is why many Indians, especially in the multinationals, they are able to be in the position of the CEO, CIO, CFO. Many multinationals. If you go and see in the Google, you can see that there are many Indians. Again, the persons of Indian origin and the Indians, they occupy the CEOs of the company, determine the policies of the multinationals, that how to reach the other countries also. So in that way, we have the basic strength of India is the intellectual human resource. This intellectual human resource, again, the technical, and that too, I'm coming into a technical part, because when I see the GTU profile, that near about 73% of the students are from engineering background, and also I found that around the students' profile, near about 64% belong to the engineering, the third year and the fourth year. So in that way, it's very important to address the youth of India, especially the engineering youth of India. Very important. See, it is actually the human resource ocean, because in many countries, human resource is not treated as a resource. That is why most of them are rated developing, or rather they are underdeveloped. In African nations, again, they couldn't see many enriched human resource. That is why they look for India, especially in the Asia, South Asia. They look for India because English is a greater advantage, and also the technical intellectual resource of the India is very greater advantage. So one should take advantage of hunting human resources. So in the human resource ocean, we are nothing but a mere salt dissolved in the ocean. So in that way, how only when we distill the water, the salt is derived. The same way, in this human resource, the distillation, the resource distillation is happening. So this resource distillation, that means that again, you mean when they draw the seawater and distill it and evaporate it, and they draw the salt, because I know Gujarat is the leading state, especially for the salt exports. So a right example I'm providing you. Like the salt production, it is nothing but they evaporate it and produce salt. The same way here, human resources also, like they are distilled and evaporated and also crystallized to evolve like a salt, a human resource, or evolved. In the same way, it's very important that the mighty human resource ocean, my brothers and sisters, especially who are listening to this session, they should keep it in mind. There are around 6,214 engineering and technical institutes are existing in India. That means, again, very important, we have near about 2.9 million the engineering graduates who are pursuing their engineering graduation. And the very important data, I said, that's why I said you're in the human resource ocean. When you are in this human resource ocean, you need to know where you are dissolved and how to crystallize yourself like a salt, how you crystallize and emerge and make taste to someone. So that is very important. And in that way, now I'm telling you, every year, 1.5 million students are passing out all over India. 1.5 million. That means we are one among 1.5 million. And remember, I said, let's discover domain. That's my topic. So this is again, I said, in this human resource domain, what is actually my crystallized personality domain? That's very important to discover in your when you start your engineering. Even you can start crystallizing that whether you want a technical career, or you want a general career, or you want initially technical career and scaling up to a general career, like scaling up to the CEO of a company. So it's very important that many people does not think about which career they want to enter into, and that is why the technical career or a general career, or like a public career or a government career or a private career, which career they are trying to aspire for. That is why we need to discover the domain, that which domain I'm going to belong to. That means I require my domain to get established and to crystallize. That means develop my domain. And when any employer, because as being an engineering graduate, you are being searched. Very important. The technical graduates and the specialized educational graduates are being searched for some specific assignments, not for a generic assignment. So that is why it's very important. Many times, the engineering graduates has the limitation when they reach the mid career and the top career. So they couldn't able to scale up because they don't have the personality, that the generic personality and the management personality to get dominated in the domain, the mid career domain and the top career domain. So it's very important now. I said 1.5 million are every year they are actually passing out. So I'm going to be who are in the third year and the fourth year, especially, and anywhere that again you are counting your years into get into that domain, the passing out domain. In that passing out domain, 1.5 million, only less than, very important. This is a very important statistic again. Less than 20% are entering into the core domain. Here, core domain, I meant, suppose I'm completing my mechanical engineering. but people they don't enter into mechanical engineering, they enter into an automobile sector. So the core domain of automobile engineering and the mechanical engineering are totally distinct. And someone actually a triple E, electrical electronics again, that they enter into more of a software domain. So we are actually discovering into an irrelevant domain. Many times our qualification and the search for the job does not match with. That is why we couldn't able to discover so many job opportunities, employment opportunities, and the placement opportunities when it happens to the career as such. So you need to know when you're taking engineering as a graduation, very important to talk about here, because many does not understand how engineering should be taken as an advantage. Because even in UPSC also, out of actually 10 candidates, I am telling in the third level, that's in the last level, to the interview level. Even in the UPSC, out of 10 graduates who are appearing for the UPSC interview, 6 to 7 are engineering graduates. That means these engineering graduates, whether they couldn't, they had the civil service aspiration in the initial, or rather they felt, since I didn't find my engineering domain opportunities, I'm shifting myself into the general career domain like civil service, either general civil service, or like even getting into some forest service or some engineering related service as such. So it's very important here. I would like to recall a very great person. You should always keep it in mind. Engineering should not be taken because you don't feel pride of it that you are an engineer having a specialized intellectual human resource. That is why you don't relish and enjoy your engineering domain, and even you don't explore what the employment opportunities, the job opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities you are having in your engineering domain. That is why the basic engineering like mechanical, civil, electrical, electronics, and also even sometimes production, all these are all basic engineering. And in the recent days again, there are so many specialized super specialized engineering are happening, like nanotechnology, and also the genetic engineering, and even the very super specialized again, like they're getting into the material and the designing structural designing engineering. So in that way, these are all the super specialized engineering. So in that way, I'm telling you, the super specialized engineering like biotechnology or a nanotechnology, these are all emerging area. People are finding it difficult to get into their domain, and because it is all more of an intellectual orientation. Anything of a nanotechnology or a biotechnology or a genetic engineering, or any technology which is connected to the recent past also. And that is why the software domain, those who are getting especially passing out like a CSE, information technology, computer science, and also the other connected information technology. So these are all the technology, the latest again, that these technology are super dynamic, and every day there is actually the developments are happening within a fraction of seconds, because the one software technology developed by any individual as an intellectual property rights, getting implemented and getting it obsolete within some few months actually. That is why the technology is evolving in a revolutionary space, and in a very quicker pace also. Very important. Now I would like to quote a very important person. You need to remember, and you need to take a pride of this person. Then you will feel that to reach that scale, many do not have the pride of being an engineering or rather a technical graduate. See, we celebrate an engineer's day. I don't know whether are you aware of this. In the year 2017, it's very important that the the national conference took place, and in this national conference, they evolved the theme called the role of engineers in developing India. See, it's very important that India is developing, and if India want to be made as a developed nation, even Abdul Kalam sir stated the Vision 2020. It's very important that he stated that the nation will be developed based on the technical knowledge which we possess. It is not like a generic knowledge. It is these technical knowledge give the super edge to when compared to the other countries. That is why in the year 2017, where on the engineering day, because we celebrate Engineers Day on September 15th. I don't know, are you aware of this day? That September 15th is the day that we celebrate the Engineers Day. And you know why? Why do we celebrate this Engineers Day? That's because the Vishwesharaya, the Sir Vishwesharaya, he is a great resource of India. And even when we got independent, during the time again that the mighty missions. That is why, see, the engineering were felt to create a mighty missions, and that mighty missions were called as the temples of India by the then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. That they're all the temples of India. The temples of India, they meant here constructing dam. So this is again a civil engineering revolution, mechanical engineering revolution. Many public sector undertaking were instilled, and we were producing so many bigger missionaries like manufacturing an aircraft and an helicopter, and these are all where the public sector undertaking and very mighty factories being set. If you see that the National Thermal Power Corporation, where they are the biggest consortium for electrical generation, distribution, and the production. See, if you see in terms of manpower and the electrical engineering, they do a mighty work where no private company can get compared with, and they can compete with, or rather in terms of a production capacity and also in the human resource capacity. So it's very important that to know here that the Vishwesharaya, that's what I was stating. Vishwesharaya, you know that how an engineer, how an engineer who had a vision and a mission were acknowledged by the then India. And every engineer, I'm telling you, you should emulate and you should actually get into the mode of the Vishwesharaya, because though in the years 2000, it's again so no, it's not the year. I'm just telling that the Vishwesharaya birthday is for September 15th. It's very important that September 15th is its birthday. That day is actually celebrated as the Engineers Day. And you know, the Vishwesharaya, he had so many patents. It is not that we are talking about so many the intellectuals, the foreign intellectuals, the Western intellectuals like Einstein and also the Edison and even Newton. Here it's very important we had greater intellectual resources like G.T. Naidu. G.T. Naidu, especially in Tamil Nadu, in the western part of Tamil Nadu, he had a lot of intellectual engineering patents, and that is why we couldn't now in the modern society we are not able to produce so many intellectual resource for the patent resources, and we are taking engineering like only to graduate. That is why here as an engineer, civil engineering, it's very important. He belongs to the basic engineering. He is basically a civil engineer. As being a civil engineer, he just got recruited as an AE, an assistant engineer. Very important. He didn't have a greater assignment. Don't think that the greater resource people entered with a greater engineering domain or a work profile. Very important. Many of my sister brothers and sisters, you need to know that the engineering domain as such very important that you enter as a basic engineer, like an assistant engineer. That's an entry level for many public sector undertakings. And even if you enter into the Indian engineering service, competing with all the engineers, and also um, even like entering into any public sector undertaking based on your gauge score, because you don't know that you are appointed as an engineer, especially the public works department. The public works department creates a lot of the state public works department, and also the central public works department is creating a lot of the engineering employment opportunities, but we are not aware of it, and that is why we are not searching the core domain, and we are not able to discover the domain, the job domain, how much we have. So it's very important here. Vishwesharaya, this man, the great personality like our Dr. Abdul Kalam sir, he was actually awarded Bharat Ratna. Remember, an engineer, a civil engineer with mission and the vision, was awarded the highest the award of India. That's again the civilian award. That's nothing but the Bharat Ratna. Many people even crave and aspire to become a Bharat Ratna awardee. But very important that because of his basic engineering contribution to the nation, it's not to very small people, to a company or to some society. They have contributed to the greater nation, like developing, constructing huge dams and also the huge civil engineering constructions. That is why he was awarded in the year 1955 the Bharat Ratna, that too in the initial phase of the engineering. And very important, he is not only acknowledged by the Indians by awarding the Bharat Ratna. Very important. That is why we celebrate Engineering Day, Engineers Day, September 15th as Engineering Day. He is considered to be the father of engineering. Remember, though he is a civil engineer, he is considered to be the father of engineering. The reason because the reason because he has created a system called a block system. You go and search what is a block system, because the canal irrigation and the dam irrigation, especially the irrigation, which led to the greater revolution or the green revolution and also the irrigation revolution that India could able to witness. Remember, this block system, which was discovered by Vishwesharaya, led not only the agriculture revolution, even the social revolution, by providing the water resources to the semi-arid and the arid region, especially the desert region and the semi-desert region. So that is why he is very important to be astonished to given the Bharat Ratna after the independence. And before independence, he was awarded knighthood. We know that the Rabindranath Tagore, he was also awarded the knighthood and the Sir. That's why he is called Sir C.V. Raman. We know that there is a Nobel laureate called Sir C.V. Raman. He is also Sir, actually. The Sir is as a title given by the British. He was given the title Sir and the knighthood conferred by the British government for his civil engineering contribution. So, as a civil engineering, he had a mission that to plan for the entire nation, for the greater society, and thinking about how India can flourish with these resources created. Now, India could able to witness all the civil engineering revolution and the mechanical engineering revolution, which was created there and done by Vishwesharaya. So I said he started his profile as a basic assistant engineer in the PWD department, the then period, the Bombay provinces. That is why it is not a great profile he had. So we need to know that people start with very small profile as being an engineer, but when they scale up, remember, it's very important that to cite here incidents of the global personalities like Sundar Pichai. See, the Sundar Pichai did not become a CEO overnight, and many people does not have an aspiration that to become a CEO. When you head the organization as an engineer, because engineering is a technical qualification. With the technical qualification, it is not very easy to scale up to the top, because the technical knowledge may be essential to enter into a basic into the lower hierarchy or to the middle hierarchy. But when you want to scale up, it's very important. I said now you need to crystallize as the salts get crystallized. We need to get crystallized into whiter particles in the greater particle that which is being tasted by so many. As we taste the salt after crystallizing from the sea water, here it's very important. We need to crystallize as a tasty, which gives a taste to the basic food. The engineers are very important that when they reach the mid-career, the organization should taste the personality. It is not only the engineering personality which gives you the taste to the organization, because many times your technical knowledge is confined only to the mid-career. But when you move up in a company, when you go to the managerial level, like a general manager and becoming a director level, and again and the board of directors, managing director, chairman come managing director, CMD, because many public sector undertaking, it is all actually managed by the technical people. You should technically know that there are technical directors, board of directors, and these technical board of directors are they would have scaled up from the engineering, because I know one of my students, because since I teach for the civil service near about 30,000 civil service aspirants across India, one of my students, he lost actually civil engineering, especially the engineering aspiration, and he didn't get through the civil service. and also, but he through gate score he entered into the BEL, the Bharat Heavy Electrical Engineering, as an AE. Now he has scaled up to become the regional manager. And remember that he is given an important assignment to establish a plant, to design the plant, to erect the plant, and to go for an implementation. That is again that you see that how the assignments are given at the later stage. See, with his engineering background alone, he didn't scale up, and the greater assignments were given. He developed his managerial skills, management skill. Like, you should know about the financial management, you should know about resource management, you should know about the again even inventory management. You should know about again the human resource management. See, all these are all when you start or when you study, you need to develop the managerial thought also, so that this managerial thought will give you your personality outlook, not only your technical outlook during your placement. Because many times the training and the placement officers, they teach you only the technical skill. It's very important. Even sometimes the soft skill like communication and the presentation skills are very important. You need the greater ideas, that when you become a general manager or when you become a CEO, what is your vision of the company which you are which you are working as such. That is why Sundar Pichai considered to be the intellectual resource, and Google is able to retain him as CEO because he is providing his thought and his vision and the ideas for at least some decades ahead. So that is why he could able to consolidate many apps actually. So that he is able to conglomerate and consolidate, and he is creating a consortium. This idea gives him the niche actually to compete with the other multinationals, and that is why the Sundar Pichai could able to compete with so many and become a CEO. It is not that in the hierarchy you become a CEO or head of the organization just like that, only with your technical knowledge. So to discover your domain, it's very important. You need to discover not only your technical knowledge, you need to discover your personality domain. That is nothing but you're like an IP, like the internet protocol. Like every mobile and every digital machine has its IP address. Like, you need to know now. You need to have even your personality IP. So your personality IP should be now should be developed, and it should be not be a static IP. It should be a dynamic IP. Then only you can gain more values and add mission to your vision, that where you want to be. So now think yourself, after 10 years. See, if you start thinking, you may be in first year. If you are in a first year again, after completing your graduation, now think where you want to be, whether you want to be in the government, whether you want to be in the private, whether you want to be in the public sector undertaking, whether you want to be in you want to be an entrepreneur. Think yourself. When you start thinking yourself, like the Gujarat is a leading example, like Mukesh Ambani and the Ambani, who felt, though he is not actually highly literate, but he thought that he need to create a bigger domain of a company called Reliance. So he consolidated all his ideas and made into and ventured so many businesses actually. So it is not the entrepreneurship is very important in a particular domain. You need to know that what is your ID should be created. Your personality ID should be created, and this personality ID, it's very important that to make yourself and presented to a greater side. And that is why York State, again, Gujarat has a greater models, and our prime minister also considered with the Gujarat model, and that is why he could able to now rule the entire nation as such. And see, the entrepreneurial attitude of the prime minister, that's very important, that to feel the entrepreneurship in the government sector. So that is the great important reasons that we could able to witness personality. When you reach the head, the people should make you under. You should make people to understand that your leadership matters. Your leadership is significant, and in that way, now very important. If you are in the first year, after completing your fourth year, where you want to be, whether you want to be in the private sector, you want to be in the public sector, or you want to be in the government sector. So if you want to be in the private sector, think about whether you want to be in the core sector or into the allied sector. And very important, if you are into the government sector, whether you want to be in the technical side or in the generic side. If you are in the technical side, it's very important. The technical domain, you have the greater employment opportunities. Especially here, very important. The Indian engineering service. Many technical graduates. They have their opportunity that to enter into engineering service, appearing Indian engineering service. And I'll tell you, the government side again, when you want to be into the government sector, even you can be technically employed into the defense also. In the defense, you have an entry called technical entry scheme. That's called a test. You just go and Google test. In the government employment side, on the engineering, technical engineering side, you need to appear for Indian engineering service. Whereas if you are if you want to enter into the defense, like Army, Navy, Air Force, and the Coast Guard. There are four actually technical entries are happening. That's called the SSB, the Service Selection Board, conducted across India at 16 places, and you need to go and search in the Google. You'll get to know that there are throughout the year, every place that the four services I said, Army, Navy, Air Force, they are taking technical graduates by conducting a simple psychometric test. You don't need anything other than that. A simple psychometric test for a technical graduate, they can get recruited, remember, as a lieutenant in the Indian Army, getting into OTA, the Officers Training Academy, or the Indian Military Academy. That's very important to be an engineer in the Army. So Army also provides a lot of opportunities. There are about 9,000 vacancies are existing. Remember, from 1998 till 2020, from 13,000 it has come down to only some. So 13,000, I said around some. That is again some only 4,000 vacancies being filled by the engineers. Though I said 1.5 million engineering graduates are passing out every year, only the Indian defense again that could able to assume or procure for the last, I said, from 98 to 2020, only 4,000 engineering graduates have got entered into. Still 9,000 vacancies are existing, and every year and throughout the year, I said 16 boards are happening in the technical entry scheme. You can go and search these entries also. So I said this is all the technical employment opportunities, and also in the government side, it's not actually the government, the public sector undertaking. There are government-run organizations called the Central Public Sector Undertaking. This CPSU. That's CPSU. That's again Central Public Sector Undertaking. Like I said, the BEL, Bharat Electronic Engineering, Bharat Heavy Electrical Engineering, NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation, even like again HAL, Hindustan Aeronautical Engineering, like whatever the petrol, the resources which we have, like ONGC, and also the Indian Oil. Then again, the GAIL, Gas Authority India, the Steel Authority of India. There are so many consortiums again that they are taking some huge technical inputs, and especially in the Gujarat, I know that there are so many technical employment opportunities, especially the Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, and Indian Oil, and the SAIL, GAIL. There are so many the oil exploration and the and especially the shipwrecking industries or basically the engineering domain oriented. So you need to know that there are so many public sector undertaking or happening public sector undertaking or taking the AEs again, assistant engineers, as the entry level based on the gate score. If you're appearing for the gate score after your fourth year, completing your fourth year, to get either enter into your post graduation or into the technical employment, you can get into. So I said lot of technical employment opportunities in the government and the public sector undertaking. So it's very important, and people, even technical graduates, they can enter into Indian Forest Service, because Indian Forest Service, the one qualification given to the engineering graduate, because they don't allow the liberal arts like a BA or BCom. You need a science graduation. So technical graduates are allowed to appear for Indian Forest Service. This has actually only an entry through appearing civil service examination. So now you'll be appearing, because previously the Indian Forest Service and the Indian Engineering Service, actually they were appearing only for the mains examination directly. Now they start conducting prelims examination for the Indian Forest Service also, along with the civil service examination, one combined examination for the civil service. So it's very important that how you enter and how you discover your domain. So even during your first year, very important, discover your domain. Whether you want to be an entrepreneur or whether you want to enter into any private career, private entity. When you enter into a private entity, they get into a greater organization like a multinational. Even there are many Indian multinationals or across India. So you need to know that those organizations, and you can even occupy the multinationals as CEO like Sundar, which I did. And also, I said very important in the government sector, very important sector, especially the Indian engineering service, that provides a lot of technical input and technical graduates to get recruited. So every year this is happening, Indian engineering service. Many of my batchmates, they have actually appeared engineering service, they secured rank, and somehow the technical career they felt they want to pursue general career, they don't want to pursue technical career. So think yourself, you want a technical career, then you can appear for Indian engineering service, and also in the Indian defense, Army, Navy, Air Force, and the Coast Guard, where regular every year there are some thousands and thousands of engineers or actually appearing and getting recruited. And every year I could see the OTA and the IMA, there are around some 500 the technical entry scheme, especially technical entry, non-technical entry. There are two entries happening in the Indian Army, the Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force. And in the technical entry, I could able to see there are every year some 500 numbers of the Army officers. Very important. They are not actually soldiers. They are Army officers. You are entered as an Army officer, as lieutenant, and the wing commander, whatever the designation to the respective level, and you are placed in very important assignments as technical resource personnel for the Indian defense. So the PSU, I said, you will get recruited as an assistant engineer. So that is also to discover your domain. So now itself, you start feeling how to discover yourself and to get into the job domain. And very important, while you are pursuing your graduation, you need to develop your management professional orientation also. With your technical knowledge, you can enter, but to excel and to reach the top level, you need managerial skill. That is where your personality domain. I said your personality domain is like from a salt water, you crystallize, from a sea water, you crystallize the salt. The same way, you need to crystallize your personality to be a white salt and to add a taste to any organization which you belong to. Then you can become one great personality, like I said, Sundar Pichai. Here, getting to know very important Dr. Abdul Kalam. He need to be known by every youth of India. Remember that with his technical graduation, he has conducted greater missions. Like I said, the mission like the test and the nuclear reactors, and even the India's defense policy, like developing the missile technology, rocket technology, launching technology, space technology, and even the defense technology. Dr. Abdul Kalam, not as being the president, but as technical resource person, he had greater ideas. Even he was pursuing his technical graduation, engineering graduation, and he has developed his thought even when he was pursuing his graduation as an engineering in the MIT in Tamil Nadu. So you as technical graduate, remember that you need to pursue for a greater vision, though you are being at present in the post-COVID situation confined to your home domain. So it is not only you are physically confined to your home domain, but develop your personality IP. That again, I said, your personality ID. That's again the intellectual IP. That's very important to be developed, and it should be very dynamic, and it should be very flexible. It should be very enterprising, and it should be very positive and very vision oriented and mission oriented. And if you're thinking, as I was stating, that Abdul Kalam created a vision called Vision 2020. That is why even after becoming the president of India, he whatever the vision he developed as a scientist and as an engineer, he pursued as president of India. So that is the greater advantage when you lead a country, becoming as being in an intellectual resources. So I wish all my brothers and sisters and my friends who are watching this video, You can you can watch many of my videos, especially in the YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, Nandakumar IRS. You can go and subscribe those channel, and also I have a blog, V Nandu, VNANDHU. That's a blog name. Or if you go and search V Nandu in the Google blog as such, you will get my domain and the Instagram. My Instagram ID is Nandakumar IRS. So every year, remember that though I'm a school dropout, I don't want to get introduced by them as a school dropout. I'm basically a dyslexic school dropout. See, I'm had a dyslexia, a learning disorder. I pursued my simple graduation in English literature, but again I had an engineering thought. Very important. I was, as being a child labor, school dropout child labor. I was working in the mechanic shed, in the radio repairing shop, electronic engineering, electrical engineering, housing sector. So I worked in many engineering sectors as being a mere labor. But I tend to develop more of an engineering orientation. Though being a labor, I was actually developing my engineering orientation. That is why I could able to understand so many engineering concepts just like that. And I take even engineering, technical engineering sessions on the thermodynamics, aerodynamics, and the fluid mechanics. So many engineering concepts which I learned at from my childhood labor days actually. So those days actually has given me so much engineering orientation as in a practical orientation. So very important, very important. You need some kind of a practical orientation for your knowledge to gain experience and the success failures also, because that success failures give you a combination to provide solution when you fail or when you're in an organization, when an organization fails. So very important, as being a failed personality during my school days and during my childhood labor days actually. But with those failures, I learned so much, and I developed so many. I discovered so many technical domain and my personality domain. And since I was discovering and evolving myself, I could able to succeed in the civil service examination as being an all India topper. Very important with a mere graduation. I didn't have a greater qualification. With mere graduation, I succeeded and become a topper of this India. That too, competing with a greater international resource with an IITN, with a Bich Villani, and with the St. Xavier, and so many technical institutions, Manipal institution. But I'm a very ordinary BA English literature graduate, compete with so many intellectuals, and even so got my service as being one of the topper, just like that. That's because I discovered my personality domain. So you should also discover your personality domain and your strength, weakness, and you should now today you should have a vision after 10 years, after 20 years, after 30 years, where you want to be, what you want to be, how you want to be, and which scale you want to be. When you think about that scale, from now onwards, you will develop, discover your domain, and you will proceed towards it, towards that destination with greater energy, whatever you have. As Dr. Abdul Kalam was stating, India's strength lies in the youth of India. I said in the post-COVID situation, many global multinationals are going to look after India for its intellectual human resource. So take an opportunity, not only from the government, even from the global competition, which India is going to now flourish out of this COVID situation. So in this vast human resource ocean, you are a dissolved salt particle. As a dissolved salt particle, now you need to get crystallized as a salt from the seawater. That means you need to distill, you need to evaporate, and you need to form a crystal and get added to whatever the food constituents which you are getting prepared. Then others will start tasting your personality. So I've given your state as an example, which is a leading salt manufacturer in the India and the leading salt exporter of India. Salt, like even the salt satyagraha, Gandhiji started salt satyagraha. The same salt I'm using it as the salt crystallized from the ocean, mighty ocean water. You should crystallize your personality out of your technical graduation. That what your personality domain is all about it. You're not only your intellectual domain, your personality domain. Then you will have your own taste. Then as when others start tasting it, they will start appreciating your personality very well. All the best. As I stated, you as an engineer, you should make India the developed. So in the 2017, the role of engineers that engineers in the developing India, as even Abdul Kalam sir stated, you are responsible with your technical knowledge, your technical domain, discover your technical domain, your personal domain, and make this nation the developed. And already India is leading in that. Thank you. All the best for my brothers and sisters. You can Instagram Nandakumar Iris, and you can search on Instagram my YouTube channel name again Nandakumar Iris. That's very simple. Or you can go and Google Nandakumar Iris. You'll get my name and my profile as such. So all the best. Get connected. We'll go ahead and get guided to lead India with your personality. All the best.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nand Kumar sir, for sharing your thoughts on our platform. It was more and like towards the session was inclined towards more engineering fraternity. As such, we are having pharmacy and management students attendee as an attendee in our session. So, from their point of view, sir, I would like to ask that what is the scope of pharmacy as a civil servant or as a government officer?
See, India will become the leader in the pharmacy. It's because the many patents, especially many drugs, no, especially Indian, the global patent drugs are reaching its finality. So it's all becoming generic drug now. So in the generic drug, they used to say that after any drug expires, the patent period expires, that then it becomes a generic drug. In that generic drug again, that there is a lot of competency. In that competency, very important that the drug control authority and also even there is again a global authority that they are controlling, the WTO, which controls, and they say that there is a period called an exclusivity. In this exclusivity, they conduct a lot of reverse engineering process that they try to convert this patent drug into a generic drug. Many pharma companies are competing that to develop and gain the rights of the exclusivity. Many pharma companies are, and the Indian companies are trying to take advantage of this exclusivity rights. In this exclusivity rights again, the molecular combination, the pharma students again, they should need about that the drug formulation and the drug formulation and the chemical combination, especially if you need see that India led in this post-COVID, whatever drug US were demanding from India, that is all being supplied. So we are the greatest supplier of the supply the drugs, especially for the post-COVID situation. That way, India has taken greater advantage. So the pharma students should also think about how to develop a drug and the chemical formulation. That's called drug formulation. So if you have their idea, they can develop their own drug and start an entrepreneurship, and also they can pursue in this post-COVID situation, they can pursue and they can become an entrepreneur very well. And the management, I stated already, management, the technical graduates also requires the managerial perception. Management has become now a common degree, but when you compete with technical people, managerial people loses the advantages. So the managerial people, when they get into any particular domain, suppose I'm an MBA graduate or a management graduate getting into a pharma company. When I get into a pharma company, I need to know about pharma managerial issues. I need to know about the demand supply. I need to know about who is my competitor, what is my market share. So that is all very important that the managerial student should know about not only generic managerial skills. When they want to enter into any specific domain, they need to develop those domain knowledge also. That is why I said that when you discover the domain, the manager students have a generic domain. They have a generic personality. Whereas the technical graduate has a technical personality. Technical personality needs generic personality traits, and the generic personality needs technical domain knowledge. So it is actually crisscross. So it is taking advantage of both. So technical graduates need managerial domain, technical domain, and also the managerial people needs a technical knowledge domain. So as I was stating, suppose I'm entering a managerial person entering an automobile company. When I enter an automobile company, I should get to know that the logistics management. So I should get to know that again, the material management. I should get to know about the inventory management. I should get to know about the human resource management. I should get to know that what is my competition as such, and the resource management also, assets liability management. So it is not only very important these managerial people get to know only the managerial principle like leadership, communication, coordination, and cooperation, and the behavioral science. They may be studying more of a behavioral science, and they are more into general administration orientation. So they need to develop a special domain into, and there are special domain like people always take human resource. I know many take human resource, but that become now a common domain in the managerial science. That again, you need to know that one time actually in the year, that was in the year 2005, there was a specific point which was going that many software industries were leading, and many people were given pay package that's called C2C of per month. They were given around some 5 lakhs. Now 5 lakhs again a greater salary. They were given from some 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs, and a guy who is in a software company of a C or a T, he when he's drawing around some 3 lakhs, he'll get married at in the same organization. He'll get married a girl, so 3 plus 3, he will get 6 lakhs again. So many people who entered into a software company, they didn't have any managerial career. So they didn't have a managerial thought. They were working as software professional, but they lost the career. They lost the career within 10 years, 10 to 15 years, and they all become redundant because they were only professionally equipped to manage a program, and they didn't actually evolve beyond the point. So that is why when they have only technical knowledge, they lose their value beyond a point. When someone is having a generic domain knowledge, they don't actually understand a technical knowledge of a company, that what actually they are required for. So a managerial student should always know about which sector they're going to enter into, and they should know about an employer, what actually the employer is looking for from the resource, human resource, the managerial human resource. And this is all about managerial people also. So they can contact me through my Instagram, and I'll let them know that what actually furthermore also required through exclusively get guided.
That was very nice, sir, answer delivered by you. As such, we know that you are, I observed your profile and it shows that you are top 20 youth icon of India.
Yeah.
So we can expect this kind of explanation from your side. Sir, in talking regarding our current scenario, earlier we have seen that in the age of 1990s and before 2000, there was liberalization and globalization that took place in India. And now watching the current scenario, that government is going more towards the privatization. So is it going to really benefit entrepreneurs to start with any kind of startups?
Yeah. See, the Make Up India and the skill development program of the Indian government gives a lot of opportunities for the entrepreneurs, especially. So the entrepreneurs can, whoever with engineering degree or even a pharma degree or with a managerial degree, they can have a generic entrepreneurship actually, like a trading or like any kind of a business activity where managerial students can start with. So government has come out and they are now increasing. I said now the Indian domestic industries are going to gain momentum, because previously when we liberalized, we allowed the multinationals to enter into India and to compete with the domestics again. Now all the multinationals again, that all these the MSMEs actually, that these multinationals will look for the basic input from the MSMEs. So many MSMEs will have a lot of opportunities in the post-COVID situation, that to supply resources to the big industries, multinationals. So they should take an opportunity. That is why I said entrepreneurship is basic area, but they need to know that which area can dominate in service sector, in manufacturing sector, in trading sector, and also in the logistics sector, because there are a lot of sectors actually. So if you see, like when there is a salt as a manufacturing activity, it's basically a basic activity. Okay. But after salt again, now people are now making a salt a derivative product again. They are trying to create a salt, a creative salt actually. They are making, people are now creating salt actually very creative. And you know that again, that how the salt, we have an iodized salt actually. A salt with again vitamin D. So there are people are coming out with a lot of creativity, even manufacturing salts also. And basically this consumption creating a lot of opportunities even for the export sector. See, Gujarat is able to gain forex reserve out of salt exports. So people can think about how one can make use of them for the. So someone needs to know about what is the global salt consumption and why India leads, why Gujarat, and what is actually the variant of salt variant of the Gujarat. Why a particular country is preferring salt, Gujarat salt. So we need to know that, and even you need to know the manufacturer, you need to know about the logistics, you need to know about CNFS agent, you need to know about the trading activity, you need to know about the pricing management, you need to know about the demand and supply management. See, these are all basic area. So I need to find the area first, and then develop my basic entrepreneurship based on that. But you should always think some 10 years, 20 years ahead of it, not thinking only in a short term, like for a year. So when you think for a short term, like for a year or for next month, for months together, then people they will not find utility for missionaries created for very prolonged activity.
That was very nice answer delivered by you again, sir. Now I would like to move Q&A session from our
Students.
attendees.
Yeah.
So if there is a question, you can post.
Yeah.
We
Someone is
received a
asking.
question.
Yeah. Someone is asking about civil service, UPSC.
Yes, sir. How did you start your preparation for the
Let's,
UPSC?
yeah.
How
See,
was
let's.
you scheduled for the studies?
Yeah. That's again. See, basically UPSC for the civil service, because UPSC is conducting a lot of exams. People do not, they're not aware of what UPSC is conducting. I said UPSC is conducting Indian Statistical Service. If anyone is from the engineering background or a mathematical background or even a statistics background, they can appear for Indian Statistical Service. Indian Economic Service. People who's having some BCom graduation or an economic graduation, they can enter into Indian Economic Service again. And people get into Indian Forest Service again. I said it requires a technical graduation. And Indian, there is again combined defense service. Combined defense service, you have a technical entry, non-technical entry. That also it's very important, like a CDS, combined defense service. So these are all actually there are, but the civil service again very generic examination, because for some 24, 25 service together like IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS. IFS here meant of Indian foreign service, not foreign service, because for foreign service they have a separate mains actually. So foreign and there are central service like even for accounting you have different accounting service like defense accounts, civil accounts, audit and accounts, railway accounts, and the defense accounts. So see, there are even accounts as such, and even taxes again. There are two taxes again: direct taxes and indirect taxes. Direct taxes again, Indian Revenue Service, like we call income tax, and the next is again the customs excise. That is also belong to the IRS again. Because now we call it as GST. So for all these services again, collectively put together, UPSC is conducting only one examination that is called the civil service examination. Every year the notification is appearing, and the prelims examination, mains examination, the interview examination. So the basic qualification, many do not know that a simple graduation from any recognized university, that's more than enough. Even if you are appearing, if you are in the final year appearing for the examination, the final examination, you are eligible to apply. Many people they do not know that they are eligible to apply even when they are appearing for the final examination. But when you are appearing for the mains examination after clearing your prelims, you need your graduation to be held with you. So even during your final year, you can apply and appear for. But that means you need to prepare. So that's very important. See, basically, civil service career is a career which gives you generic career opportunity. That is why I said people who opt a technical career, they have a lot of saturation in the hierarchy. So they become a CE, chief engineer of any organization. Like if you are on the electricity board, you become a chief engineer. And if you are in again any other public undertaking, you become a chief engineer, like in the board and the corporation. So that is why like even they become a directors. But beyond that, like a CMD or a secretary of the department, that it is all managed by an IAS officer or an officer from the other central service who are on the deputation. So very important, generic career will have a quicker career progression. And whereas a technical career will have a limited career progression, and which is confined only to the technical knowledge. So civil service preparation, basically you need to start preparing altogether for your prelims, mains, and the interview. So this is again like a cycle. You need to prepare for the entire cycle. People they don't concentrate on for the entire three process: prelims, mains, and the interview. And the UPSC has given the calendar for all the examination. So kindly go through the UPSC calendar. UPSC has published a calendar when the notification, they are calling the notification, qualifier of the notification date, examination date, and even the results also. All these dates are being published in the UPSC website, upsc.gov.in. They are published. If you go and see that, and for the UPSC aspirants, very important, you go and see the last year UPSC notification. That they have given some basic qualification, and they have given the intent of each and every level, that what is actually being tested in the personality. In prelims, UPSC, what actually UPSC is trying to test. That is why they have two paper. General studies, which is of 100 questions, 2 hours, 100 questions, and more of general studies are connected with your school subjects like history, Indian history, like Indian history, ancient India, medieval India, modern India, Indian national movement, and for the science again, like physics, chemistry, biology, science and technology, and for geography, Indian geography, world geography, and the Indian political system, that we call as a polity, Indian polity, like you need to know about the legislature, executive, and judiciary. And Indian economic system, like you need to know about all the sectors, economic sectors like agriculture, industry, service sector, financial sector like banking, and even the budget, assets, and also even the external sector like foreign exchange and exports and imports. And the banking sector is also part of the financial sector, and even security sector like even the stock markets. All these are all the basic part of the Indian economy. So it is all Indian economy which I was telling about. So the Indian economy, Indian polity, and I said the Indian history. Out of 100 questions, 50% of the questions are from these three parts. The rest again, the rest 50 will be from science and technology. I said in the geography, even you need to learn about environment and ecology. And also I said the other part is again the very important part again, the current affairs also. So all together, these all constitutes another 50. So I said 50-50 components, and basically your time management for these 50-50, whatever I said, Indian polity, Indian economy, and the Indian history, or the entire 50% of the prelims part for 100 questions, again 50 questions are from, and the Indian history will have even Indian culture also, and the rest other part again I was telling about like science and technology, geography, in science and technology, science again, and even the current affairs again, the rest are 50. So very important, even the global organizations also like United Nations and its related special agencies. So those are also it's part of the UPSC syllabus. So you can get through, and out of 100 questions, you are given the time of around some 2 hours. And for the CSAT, you know that it's again more of a aptitude orientation. You need comprehension skill. That means you need to understand the basic passage after reading it and answering it. Then you need a communication skill, you need decision making skill, you need a mental ability, you need a basic English knowledge. English knowledge again, it's of a 10 standard level. You don't want to get worried about anything about English. So these are all about the CSAT. And for the mains examination after clearing, because there is a ratio actually, UPSC has a ratio that for every one vacancy, and whatever notified during that year. Suppose this year, for an example, UPSC is notifying some vacancy of 100. So for 100, they take 1:13. That means for one vacancy, 13 people are selected for the next level. For prelims, again, any number of candidates can apply and appear. UPSC not bothered. For one vacancy, they will select only 13 for the next level, for the mains level. And again, the 1:3. For one vacancy, again, the 3. So that means, suppose there are 100 appearing for prelims, they will take only, for if it's only one vacancy, 100 appearing, only they will take 13. And next level again, out of the 13 who are getting qualified to the next level to the interview, they will take only 3. So 13, the remaining 10 will get will disqualify. So For the interview, again, out of 3, 1 will be selected. So this is how the ratio happening 13, 1 is to 13 and 1 is to 3 ratio for the interview. Basically, if you keep it in this mind, again, the competition, core competition remains with, though there are number, they stated that there are around some 15 to 20 lakh people apply and appear to an extent of around some 8 lakhs to 10 lakhs again, that there are only potential candidates of around some 1 lakh who are competing with. But the competition is again among only with that some 80,000 to 60,000 to 80,000. They are the core competence. They have the core personality. Out of that 80,000, where the core competition lies, you need to be very smart enough that to express in your prelims examination with clarity, the objective oriented, and for the mains examination, the descriptive one, 3 hours given, 9 papers, general English and the language. That is only a qualifying paper. You would qualify, and the rest 7 papers. 1 paper is actually the essay paper. 2 papers are an optional subject. You need to take an optional subject. Who are very much interested to prepare for civil service, now they can decide about their optional papers. That is again of a degree level. There are 2 papers I've taken because during my time it was 2 optional subjects, so I've taken 4 papers. Now they made it 2 papers. That 4 papers were made into 2 papers. So I said an essay paper and 2 optional subjects. So 3 papers are over. It can be you can decide whether are you going to take some social science, or if you're going to take technical, then you need to go through the syllabus and the previous question paper for the optional papers taken. UPSC has published all the syllabus and the UPSC or previous question paper for each and every subject, so you can go and see. Don't worry about, and now it's all available in the net. You don't know, you need to ask anyone. And for the general studies also, previously when we appeared, it was only 2 paper out of 9 paper. Now they made it as actually 4 papers: GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4. So that paper 4 is all about ethics and integrity. It's more of testing your personality, how integrity, how much you are corrupt free, how your thought are very free from to serve the society. So it is basically completely to assess your personality, and your the essay paper is also to assess your personality, how you are able to develop a concept and write an answer. So 4 papers, GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 out of 9 papers, 4 paper or GS paper. The 4 papers are based on your prelims examination, what you prepared. Like a GS paper 1 will have all the subjects which you read in the prelims, and paper 2, paper 3, and paper 4 is ethics and integrity. I was stating it. Then very important, 2 papers or optional papers. Any special subject which you have taken at the degree level, the 2 papers will have a detailed syllabus. You need to go through the syllabus and the previous question paper. Then you will get to know the trend of everything. And 6 papers are over, 1 essay paper. The remaining 2 papers, I said 9 out of 9, general English and general language, any Indian language. So you can take Gujarati or you can take Hindi as the language which you have studied in your school days, 10th standard level. Both general English and the language is of 10th standard level. So you don't want to worry about your English and your language, whether you are proficient enough. So that's all. For the interview, your personality tested. Ultimately, it's very important that UPSC is testing your personality altogether. When you appear before the interview, within 20 minutes, they'll get to know what will be your personality till you're 60 years. So, do you have a vision? Do you have the clarity? Do you have a decision making skill? Do you have a leadership? Do you have a communication skill? All these are all being just in 20 minutes, how you will be for next 6 years when you are appointed into the government examination. So that is the personality test which UPSC conduct. So all about UPSC I've stated, very easy. If you are aspiring for UPSC, I have so many friends. There is one Keyur Patel. He was my roommate actually. You know Patel again, or from Gujarat. So he was basically now he is basically my senior, also 1 year senior. Keyur Patel, he is an IRS officer right now, additional commissioner 2004 batch actually. So I belong to 2005 batch, and I've seen a lot of Gujaratis actually. They were very good in their administration. See, when they get into the administration, I could able to see that very good in their administration, like excelling in their career also. So all the best for the civil service career aspiration.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir, for praising Gujaratis from Ambani to that is UPSC administrative officers.
Yeah.
Sir, second, sir, how you scheduled for your preparation?
See, scheduled preparation is very important. Whatever the time, suppose per day I'm having 10 hours. I stated no, 10 hours I'm having. Now I need to schedule based on the subject priority. Okay, first I should know about what actually, how much hours I have for a day. Then I need to plan for that particular day. Then I need to know about what is the subject content. Then I need to plan for a week. Then I need to plan for a month. Then I need to plan for the entire examination schedule for till prelims examination, mains examination, and the interview examination. So I need to phase out in such a way that the time days available, I need to multiply the time and the days, the total number of hours, then total number of subjects. There are, I said, basically there are only some 7 to 8 subjects for the UPSC. So that means 8. Suppose I have some 10 hours. So 10 hours again, that 8 hours can be allocated 1 hour. So 8 hours again. 2 hours again, I can use it for my practice or for my clarity and my answering questions. So I need to plan such a way. It's again individual convenience that to plan and schedule the preparation, and that's a detailed process. One should understand themselves. Generally, they should know the time. They should know that how many days available, multiplying into, and the number of subjects, basic subjects I said for the GS. Like there are only some 8 subjects. For the 8 subjects, you need to know the priority, the percentage priority, and also the understanding, your understanding capacity, how quicker you could able to understand, you could able to answer the questions, clear the questions. So that is all matters for scheduling your month's preparation schedule. Okay, so let's each and everyone let them communicate. Communicate. Let me guide them in specific.
It was nice, sir.
Yeah,
Last
they can
question.
go and see my blog, V Nandu, VNANDHU, D for Delhi, V Nandu. V Nandu, it's a blog spot for the civil service. I've given all the basic information in that blog. They can go and see my blog, even my Facebook page also. Nandakumar IRS, I'm posting some basic and current affairs material as actually a page, because I'm broadcasting for all the civil servants, near about some 20,000 civil servant aspirants every year and every time. So people can join me also. Join me.
So we received a question from Facebook, our Facebook live.
Yeah.
Tell me something more about the scope of pharmacy. Glimpse on that, sir.
See, pharma as a career, either you need to get into a pharma research organization. Okay, there are pharma research happening, no? See, someone who needs a research knowledge, then they need to pursue higher education, like getting into PhD. Okay, so that is more of a research. Pharma manufacturing, there are different activities in pharma. One, basically the research, pharma research. So people should know the research domain. That's one very important domain. And second, pharma manufacturing, whether they are going to produce someone's molecular formulation, or they have their own molecular formulation, they are going to start a company. What machinery is required to start a drug formulation company, a drug formulation and manufacturing company, and sometimes even some pharma distribution. So people, because you require a pharma license again, pharmaceutical to start a medical store or to start a pharmaceutical pharma marketing or pharma distribution, you need a pharma license again. So these are all the career opportunities for the pharma. So they need to know whether they want to be a research scholar and develop patents or pharma, the patent or drug patents, or they need to manufacture. They need to know the machineries, drug, and everything, because there are many drugs being outsourced, and they can get into that. And Gujarat is also known for chemicals, especially the chemical industry. Again, Gujarat is pioneering for chemical. All the drug form chemicals are procured from only from Gujarat. Again, I'm telling you. So Gujarat has again a lot of chemical opportunities. The chemical engineering options, and also the pharma come related again, because more of pharma, like chemical chemistry people, they know that the drug formulation, the drug molecular formulation, that is all the very important factor. And like people get into bulk drug formulation manufacturing also. And I said even some kind of a pharma education. So these are all the domain. So already I've stated pharma domain. You need to know what is your domain. You discover your domain. Whether you want to be you want to start your medical shop, you want to be a manufacturer, you want to be a distributor, you want to be a medical rep, you want to be a research scholar, research person who produce discover drugs for so many disease and so many infections which human being are prone to. That's all.
Thank you so much, sir. Hope the session has made inspire to all fraternity, that is management, engineering, and pharmacy also. And
Yeah.
by listening to your struggle, that
Hmm.
many students, those who are aspiring for a higher post and being a want to being a professional, it will your story will inspire them all. I hope. I hope everyone has enjoyed the meeting. Now, I am having some announcements. I am receiving chats like a feedback form is not yet received for many of the attendees. So we will share again the feedback link of all the 3 days. And next, thank you so much for attending all our 3 sessions, and thank you so much for attending our season 1 and making it a successful event. Hoping that after completing this season 1, you all attendees are going to have some confidence and skills that will adapt in you, that will get adapt in you, so that you can enhance while you are going to the industry meet. Yeah, next thing, as feedback link, we will share feedback link from our end, and it will be open for 2 days, and after 2 days we will share it within 1 day to the everyone. We will share acknowledgement of your presence with everyone. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Any
And
closing statement from your side?
yeah, I'll just give my WhatsApp number. I'm texting my WhatsApp number also so that people can WhatsApp me if they wanted. So once again, I wish all my brothers and sisters of India that very youth again. I said you are having the power to make India the developed. So discover your domain, not only your technical domain, your job domain, your personality domain. You will reach your destination very soon, and I'll meet you as being a great personality. All the best. And thank you, Mridul, and I thank the GTU, Gujarat Technical University, for providing me and reaching so many nationals again, national students actually, and in that way, great opportunity to share my views about engineering and the other careers also. Thank you once again, Gujarat Technical University, all the resource person who are behind keeping me alive.
Yeah, all pleasure is all ours, sir, to have you on our platform. Yeah,
Wonderful.
thank you very much,
Bye. All the
and
best.
signing off.
Yes.